बहुत बार ऐसे हुए इधर तीन जगह से हाँ इधर अच्छा Henry did you check my like yeah সৰুতে লেপটপত চাই লওঁ মইতো দেখাই নাই ৰাতিপুৱা lecture আছে only afternoon এই যে only lecture আৰু বাহিৰৰ
First, 150 Lucas participants join for 100 participants. First day.
Screen light. Screen light.
laser pointer আছে নেকি laser pointer আছে নেকি
পইণ্টাৰটো আছে আপুনি ইয়াৰ পৰা এপৰ্ট কৰিব পাৰিব
না মই তাত যাম না দেখি
তাত কৰিব
নহ'লে কেনেকৈ না আগতেই বনাই থোৱা মই দেখি আছোঁ চাওঁ আজিকালি লগ নোপোৱা লগ নোপোৱা হ'ল আপোনাৰ ইয়ালৈ গুচি তাতে আমাৰ চিফ্টতে আছে ইয়াতে আহি বাইদেউ পিছতে আছে আজি কোন আহিব মই তাৰ প্ৰক্সি মই কাৰোবাৰ প্ৰক্সি না টপিকটো মই মানে পঢ়া-শুনা কৰিছোঁ এইটো জানো
আজি আমি research inspiration.
বাহিৰৰ বেছি নাই
election.
अभी इलेक्शन का
Election.
Elections. Yes,
ना स्वागत हो से मोबाइल समझा
Start করব না?
ये देखिए
और देखिए grupo físico.
Yes. जो गूगल पे का लिंक देखो बड़ा सेम लिंक
हम लोग बस नहीं ऑलरेडी आई वो हमें आराम से पढ़े माने 5 मिनट्स चाहिए
Good afternoon, hello, and welcome back, everyone. Hope everyone is geared up for today's session. Okay, welcoming you all again to the day 3 of the National Faculty Development Program on Emerging Trends in Nursing Research, organized by Royal School of Nursing, Assam Royal Global University, Guwahati. I hope all of you are eager to proceed with today's session and get all the valuable information from Sir. Okay, without much delay, let me first introduce you to our esteemed speaker of today's session, Sir Professor Dr. Alok Kumar Buragohai, Chairperson Academics, the Assam Royal Global University, Guwahati. I would like to give a brief introduction of Sir. Sir was born in Shillong and completed his early education there and graduated from St. Anthony's College, Shillong. He did his post-graduation from Guwahati University in Botany and shortly got appointed as lecturer at Handy Girls College, Guwahati. Sir left for England on an overseas fellowship to do his PhD in plant molecular biology at Imperial College of Science, Technology and Medicine, London. After completing his PhD from University of London and DIC in Plant Virology from Imperial College of Science, Technology and Medicine, London, Sir returned to India and joined Guwahati University as a reader. Soon Sir was appointed as the founder head of the Department of Molecular Biology and Biotechnology at Tezpur Central University, where he was serving as a professor and also a registrar till 2013. Sir also established the Center for Petroleum Biotechnology at Tezpur Central University. Sir also had a brief stint for a year at the Department of Botany and Biotechnology of the Toklai Experimental Station of the Tea Research Association, Jorhat. In 2013, Sir was appointed as the Vice Chancellor of Dibrugarh University for a period of 5 years. Sir was also appointed as an independent director on the board of Brahmaputra Valley Fertilizer Corporation for a term of 5 years by Government of India. Sir presently serving as the chairperson academics at the Assam Royal Global University, Guwahati, a premier private university in northeastern India. Sir has an extensive experience in higher education, research, and academic governance. Sir has around 100 research publications in international and national journals of repute. Sir has also served as members on many committees of Government of India. I now request Professor Dr. Kaveri Saikia, Principal, Royal School of Nursing, to kindly felicitate Sir.
Thank you.
Now I request Sir to begin today's session. Thank you.
Students, please come forward. Come forward. Agole aha.
Some of you can come to the front. Okay, good afternoon. Are you ready and settled? They are all masters or PhD? Okay. Once again, good afternoon, and I'm at the very outset. Let me express my big thank you to the organizers for having me this afternoon with you to share my thoughts on ethics in research. I think most of backbenchers there, the students, you're all graduate students, and you may be wondering what research is.
Sir, did you learn research and statistics as a subject?
So you have to study your syllabus. I understand that research and statistics you are aware of.
Yeah,
So
they have to do a project on
they have to do a project also. That is very nice. Then you have to study now. You have to know now what is ethics in research. You have learned about what is research and statistics. Now research and ethics. So for many of you, ethics may be a new concept. I mean the students. So, but this is a very important part of our business. Whatever business we do, ethics, it has to be grounded on ethics. It is a kind of a structured lecture, but I generally love to give spontaneous extempore lectures. But then today, since I have these PowerPoint slides already prepared for some lectures, I used to give to the PhD students. In PhD students, it's an integral part of the syllabus. It's mandatory that every PhD student of the country mandatorily must take a course on ethics in research. And this speaks of the, about the importance of ethics in research, how important it is, whether irrespective of your discipline, whether you are in nursing, whether you are in biology, political science, economics, irrespective of your domains, whatever research you do, it has to be grounded on the platform, on the premise of ethics. Without ethics, nobody will accept it. Will not accept it. What is ethics? I will take you through the slides briefly. Now, it takes us back to so many years back, to the days of Socrates, Aristotle, Epicurus. These are old Greek philosophers, as you know. They are the fathers of this human civilization. If, for example, Socrates, he was a teacher, and so many thousands of years ago, 470 before Christ, and he died in 399 before Christ. Right? Then after that, Aristotle. You all heard about these names. And these are the people who not only laid the foundation of human civilization through their engagement in observation, deep thinking, and what we call as research now, and ultimately coming up with the realization about the reality of the universe, realization about the reality of the whole world, the different aspects of the world, about human life, right? And that is how the subject of philosophy has come about. You don't have to become a philosopher, you don't have to bother about philosophy now. But then philosophy is a subject that really takes you into very deep engagement in your observation, in your introspection, thinking, and interpretation through analysis, and ultimately arriving at an inference as to why, what, and how things are happening that you observe in the first place. Right? These are the fundamental questions in research: what, why, how. These are the three basic questions, irrespective of your subject. Right? That will drive you to research. Why is it behaving like this? What is it that makes things happen like this? Then finally, how is it happening? Right? You deliver a medicine, you give a treatment, you give a therapy to your patient, right? And the patient responds in different ways. You would like to know what is the cause of that response, right? Is it the drug? Is it the medicine that is evoking that response? Or is it the psychology of the fact that, of the patient, that something has been given to him or her that is evoking that response? What is it? And if it is so, this response is because of this, either for your mind or for your medicine. Why? Why is that response? It could have been otherwise. It could have been different ways. Why in this particular way? And then, if you know the answer that it is because of this, then you would like to know how this is happening. How is this response coming up? You're getting my point? So, all these answers, all these questions of what is the response, why is the response, and how is the response after you subject the patient to some kind of a therapy. I'm just drawing a very wild kind of examples from your domain. I'm not from your domain. I'm a biologist, as you know, but I'm not very far from you. These tapes are a little risky. So anyway, so these are the fundamentals of. Please come back. These are the fundamentals of research. So research is not something. Research is not something that you cannot understand. Everybody understands research, right? You got my point. So if anything surrounding around these three questions lead to a path of research, right? So, and in any subject. So therefore, there is nothing to worry about what is research. I decided to elaborate what is research because I find very young graduate students, they may not believe in wondering what is research. Research is nothing. Your queries on the basis of your observations on certain things happening around you. Right? And now, about these things, Socrates, Aristotle, and Epicurus, when they were engaged in research, they were thinking about many things in the world, about human life, right? And they came up about human conduct also. How should we conduct? How should we behave? Right? So the term ethics is derived from the Greek word called ethikos. All of you know about ethics at least. The term you have heard about ethics, right? The term originally it is derived from the Greek word called ethikos, and it is derived from another word called ethos, meaning custom or habit. Custom or habit. This is the custom. This is the way we should behave. Right? This is custom. In a classroom, students should face like this, teacher, and the teacher should address like this. This is the custom. I cannot go for any kind of other conduct. I cannot start singing and dancing here before you. You understand what I mean? Right? The custom is not that. In a classroom, I must conduct as if I'm in a classroom. I cannot conduct in the classroom like an artist. Right? So it is accepted norm. It's a norm. Okay? And if the norm becomes a habit. So originally it is called as etymologically. The origin of the word is called etymology. When you study the origin of the word, there is a different subject, different branch that is called etymology. E-T-Y-M-O-L-O-G-Y. Now, etymology of the term ethics is from ethos, meaning custom or habit. So, ethics has connotation, and it has also another connection with a Roman word. Roman from the Rome, Italy, right? Greece. These are neighboring countries, ancient civilizations started there. And the Roman equivalent of the Greek word ethikos was moralis. Moralis meaning it is equivalent to the meaning of the word ethikos. But by moral we mean something a little different. By moral we mean he is very moral. It is not moral. It is not morally correct, we say. We don't say that ethically correct. More often we say it is not moral. All right? But these two terms are used rather synonymously, but there is a slight connotational difference. What is that? Ethics is generally, it has got a very practical kind of connotation. Ethics, the way you do it, the way I conduct it. And the way I conduct it, it has a kind of an underpinning philosophy, and that philosophy is moral. There are two parts, right? On the other hand, morality denotes the philosophy of the code of conduct that underpins the practice of ethics. So we conduct in certain ways, we develop our customs through our conduct in certain ways based on certain principles, certain philosophy, and that is morality. So there is a fine difference between the two. When you enter the OT, Operation Theatre, it has become a habit for the people who are in the nursing profession to follow, to observe certain codes of conduct. You have to be sterile, you have to be absolutely clean, right? You have your own attire, which is very different, with respect to the OT, operation theatre. So it becomes a habit for you. That habit has been derived from the custom, right? And you know that if you don't do that, if you go unclean, it might cause harm to the patient. Am I right? So this is how the ethics are built upon certain sense of morality. The ultimate, there has to be a moral underpinning. Philosophical, it is not mechanical. Ethical conduct is not just mechanical, that you have to go like this and that. There is a moral underpinning to it. Right? Otherwise something bad would happen, something wrong may happen. Right? Now, definition of ethics. Ethics is a subject, let me tell you. Ethics is altogether different subject. A lot of people are engaged in research. In our country, very few people are engaged in research in ethics. But if you go to Western universities, if you go to Oxford, you go to Cambridge, you go to any other university in the West, there are scholars. They're just researching on what is ethics, what is morality, and all that. These are very important issues because on these issues of ethics and morality, also what is dependent is our survival as a human race, as a civilized human race. If you become unethical, if you become immoral, whatever you are, you may be in the nursing profession, you may be a physician, you may be a physicist, but if you are immoral in your conduct, if you do not have any ethical ground justifying your conduct, you are unethical, and that may lead to disaster. Right? That is why ethics is so fundamentally important for any discipline, including any activity, including research. Right? Now, I will give you, because it's a faculty development program, I thought it should be more intellectual. And John Dee, I think he's a British philosopher, John Dee. He's not a very old philosopher like Socrates, he's a modern time philosopher. He wrote in his book on ethics, he defines ethics like this. Ethics is a study. It's a study of what are good and bad aims to pursue in life. Ethics is a study of what is good and what is bad in your life. All right? How do you perceive? Oh, this is. Somebody will ask you to do something, and you say, "Oh no, I cannot do it. This is not good." Right? You know, your education, your culture, your moral values will tell you that this is not good. You should not do it. Okay? So basically it is so simple. Ethics is so simple. It is the way you conduct your life, or one conducts one's life in a good way or a bad way. And what is right and wrong. What is good and what is bad is also related with what is right and what is wrong. To do in the conduct of life, conduct of your professional life as a nurse. What is good and what is bad, what is right and what is wrong comes to ethics. Right? It is therefore above all a practical discipline. Even though it is more than philosophical principles of morality. Right? It is very practical because it depends, it concerns one's conduct, the way one behaves. All right? So it's a very practical discipline. Its primary aim is to determine how one ought to live and what actions one ought to do in the conduct of one's life. If you are a nurse, what's your ethical life? How you should conduct professionally in ethics, ethically. And as a nursing professional, if you're engaged in research, what are the things that should be considered as ethical? Then I will come to you. I'm giving you a very broad perspective of what ethics is. We'll come to research. All right? If you get bored, You can ask me questions anytime. All right? And feel free. Right? I belong to the human species to which you belong to. So nothing to worry about. I'm not a tiger. I'm not a lion. Right? So feel absolutely free. At any point in time, you can ask me good questions. And any question coming from your curiosity is a good question. Right? Now, ethics these are again a little boring. Right? I will take you to research. Now, I'm still in the philosophical part and the practical aspect of ethics. Now, ethics is a normative discipline. What is a normative discipline? Normative discipline is anything that becomes a norm, a custom, a way of doing things. It's normative. It is prescriptive and it is not descriptive. What does it mean? It does not describe action. For example, one ought to tell the truth. That is ethics. One, you should tell the truth. But it doesn't say how you should tell the truth. Right? It doesn't describe. One ought not to steal. You should not steal. But how you should not steal, it doesn't explain. One ought to respect one's teacher, but how to respect the teacher, it doesn't say. You understand my point? Okay. Now, here we land. Integrity in research. That is, integrity is a part of ethics. How many of you understand Assamese, Bengali? Raise your hands. How many of you do not understand Assamese and Bengali? Raise the full hands raised for very few. Integrity, you understand? All of you, I think English speaking, you understand integrity. Ohomia Bali, the right word for integrity is hotota. You understand hotota? Being honest. Right? So this is integrity. Right? So when you engage yourself in research, the basic fundamental ethical principle is integrity. What is integrity? Where do you do your research? Where does one do research? You do research individually, but you do it in an institution. It could be Royal Global University, it could be Oxford, it could be any place, any other university. So there are two domains. One is the individual, the other one is the institution. Both are linked. Am I right? So individual integrity involves moral character and experience. When you do engage yourself in research as an individual, your integrity will depend on your moral character. You have to be fundamentally a moral person, a good person. By that I mean that you have an understanding about what is good and what is bad, what is right and what is wrong. If you have that, that builds your moral character. And with that you go and engage in research. And that way you become either a good researcher or a bad researcher. Right? You will see, not in terms of quality, in terms of ethics also. And also your experience. You will experience many situations in life. And if you can discriminate that this is good, this is bad, this is right, this is wrong, that will also become a part of your whole, the process of, the process that dictates you or determines you the way you will conduct. Not only your character, but your experience. Oh, that was very wrong, I know it. It happens to you, isn't it? You are facing a situation, right? And it is a very difficult situation, and you do not know what to do or not. But then suddenly you realize, oh yeah, I experienced this kind of thing. It is not good. Let us not do it. That is integrity comes in. Experience comes into integrity. All right? I'm not telling you rocket science. I'm telling you simple stuff of life. Right? If you listen with little care and attention, it will remain there all through your life. And it will be very helpful, let me tell you. Then you do not do research as an individual in the air. Right? You need an institution to do research. Institutions also must have mechanisms to promote the standards of excellence, trustworthiness, and lawfulness. I will tell you what. Why have you come and decided to join Royal Global University to do your BSc Nursing? First of all, BSc Nursing, then research. Why? Why did you join? First of all, of course, you had an inclination to study nursing. You wanted to become a nurse. That's why you joined here. But then you might as well have joined for nursing in any number of other institutions. Why did you join this place? At the back of your mind, there are 2-3 things. You knew that here teaching learning is excellent. Right? So the whole infrastructure is excellent, teachers are excellent, and you had a hope, an expectation that over here, if I go for learning, this institution, right? Here I will get the benefit of being taught by excellent teachers, an excellent syllabus, and in an excellent manner. Am I right? So this excellence, I will explain again. This excellence is the function of, this excellence is not dropped from heaven. It doesn't come just like that. This excellence about the university, excellence about the institution is built on hard work, sincere work, honest work, right? Which leads to this excellence. As an individual, A, B, C, D, right? If you, as a member of Royal Global University, if you conduct in such a manner in your study, in your other affairs, other activities, in such a manner that it is so good, you know that this is good, this is the best, I will have to become best. It is good, it's not wrong, it's the right way. You know, that conduct will not only make you excellent, but the institution excellent. Excellent is a function of ethics. Without ethics, excellence you cannot expect. Right? You can copy in one examination, unethical, absolutely wrong, absolutely devoid of any integrity, and you scored 100 out of 100. All right? And people will say that, oh, you were excellent. Right? Next examination, you could not copy, and you got 0. Your excellence evaporated. Am I right? The excellence is built through ethics, built on ethics. You have to try hard, and you have to try not only hard, but honestly, sincerely, truthfully. Then people will believe in you. You will not only acquire excellence in your research about yourself as a researcher, but about the institution also, that, oh, here is a place to go. I trust this place. It is not like one time you copied and you got 100 out of 100 and next time you fall back down to ground zero. It is not like that. You have to build the trustworthiness. Right? So, and finally, institutional promotion of standards of ethics also involves that it promotes activities, conduct of the institution in a manner that it complies the rules and regulations and laws. You come here to join BSc Nursing, MSc Nursing, or PhD Nursing because you know, oh, this institution is not only good in teaching, learning, excellent teachers, results are good publications of faculty, good teachers, but also you know that this institution they comply every requirement of the rules and regulations of the Nursing Council of India. Right? So the lawfulness also is a part of your integrity, and that is also part of the ethics of the institution. We have not written any false statement to comply the regulations of the requirements of the Nursing Council. We are not unlawful there. And that conduct is a part of our ethics, a part of our integrity. I think I'm building up the story gradually. I'm yet to enter research. I have just entered Royal Global University for research. I have entered because it is built on integrity. It is not just built on bricks and mortar, beautiful buildings, beautiful tiles. It is not built on that. This university is excellent because it is built on integrity in its conduct of teaching, learning, research. Right? And therefore, this university is trustworthy. And therefore, definitely, it is complying with all the necessary rules and regulations that is required, that is there in the country to fall back upon for ensuring the quality of research and teaching learning to make good quality nurses, good quality professional nursing people, so that they can serve the country well, so that they can serve the humanity well. That is the ultimate goal: to do good, not bad, to do right, not wrong. That is the ultimate goal, right? So you understand the connection, ethics, and to become a good professional nurse. It is all linked. All right? You understand? Backbenchers, you understand? Great. All these points you remember. Integrity of the individual scientists. Where do you show your integrity? I say that your moral character, your experience should be there. I told you in the beginning, right? At the individual level. Now, now I am about to enter research. So, what is research? In research, I told you, what is research? What is this? Why is this? How is this? Right? On the basis of these questions, you will propose a problem. Why is this happening the way it is happening? You want to know. For that, you have to make observation, collect data, analyze the data, and on the basis of that analysis, you derive at certain interpretations. Right? And for collecting the data, sometimes you have to experiment, design experiments. It's an empirical science. You don't have to go to the field survey. That is another one. Right? Here you come and design experiment in the laboratory and you generate data. Your integrity, your ethics in research will begin right from when you propose your research problem. Right from the beginning, when you start writing your proposal, that has to be based on honest questions. You cannot get a proposal placed on borrowed ideas, somebody else's idea. It is your idea, it is your observation, it is your question. Right? So, right from the beginning. Or you cannot start a research proposal looking at, oh, he's also doing this, she's also doing this, let me also do this. You understand my point? That can happen. That can jolly well happen, isn't it? Right? But you're not doing that. If you're doing that, you are violating ethics. Right in the beginning. Next, you got a good proposal, honest proposal, based on ethics, and you have to perform experiments. When you perform experiments, if you say that I will do 10 experiments, each experiment thrice, 3 times, I will do the same experiment and generate data. Because this is the custom, this is the practice, this is the method of statistics to make the data acceptable, statistically valid. 3 sets, reliable. But after doing 1 set of experiment, you get tired and you say, I know this is the frame, these are the data. I will fill it up myself. I will cook my story. Can happen. Instead of 3 sets, you do 1 set, and rest 2 sets you just put figures. Can happen. Without performing any experiment, you generate data. That is another thing. This is while performing. And finally, reporting research. You did a good project, you did it nicely, you could not find anything good, then you decided what to do. and let me tweak it here and there and report something else. I got negative result, but let us make it little positive so that people will get it. People will take note of it. That is our thing. In research, whether you get a positive result or a negative result, both are results. Right? You may get sometimes positive result. You might get half the time negative results. Your hypothesis is proved wrong, but that is also research. That is also knowledge. Because you know that this doesn't work. This hypothesis does not work. This assumption does not work like this. You believe in the beginning, in the research, you propose, your question was, why is this happening like this? What is this happening? And you know, how is this happening? And how is this happening? You assume, first of all, and that is the hypothesis. And if your hypothesis is that this is happening because of this, you have to prove it through your experiments. And if you, while doing the experiments, you find that no, it is the other way around. The data says the other way around. It is not happening the way I thought. But if you change it, then it's very unethical. Right? Even if it doesn't work that way, you found out, that is knowledge also, because you know that this is not the way it happens. And now I know. Okay. Sleepy? Good show is going on, man. How are you sleeping? Post lunch time is very dangerous time. I think you know biology more than me. So I won't mind if you go out and have fresh air and drink some cool water and come back again. This happens to me also. Right? It happens to everybody. Let us be ethical about it. Right? Let us be ethical about admitting that, yeah, I feel sleepy, I get bored. And if you get bored and sleepy, wow, I don't mind. It happens. Anyway, this is to break the sleep. Now, accuracy in representing contributions to research proposals and reports. Proposals and reports. Accuracy. I'm in hardcore ethics in research. You have to report in your presentation. Project presentation, you will have to do nursing students. You have to do a project. That is your research project. Small, but you have to present it. You have to do something. Right? And when you do something, do it honestly. Don't lie anyway. And ultimately, when you report as you found it. Don't copy and paste and bring and make a presentation. You have to report honestly only your work. No storytelling, no copy pasting. Right? This is what I found. Right? People may ask you, my God, how can you get this result? How is this possible? It is not possible. Then you have to prove that this is possible. I did it. It is not you who did it. It is me who did it. You have to have that guts and confidence. That confidence and guts will come, that strength will come from ethics. You know that I did it. You didn't do it. I did it, and I know it best. Am I right? So that is the strength of ethics in research. So don't fear. If you're getting this, you present this. Don't present this. All right. Then, I have a friend, very close friend. Right? I have my wife, who is also in the same profession. Right? I do research. I got beautiful results. Everything I have done honestly. But at the end, my wife said, my name also. Because who will question? Same domain. Right? Right, I put unethical. You have to put genuine authorship. Your friend will tell, put my name. You don't do that. Right? Even your teacher will tell. Some teachers not at all involved in that project. See the HOD. Everybody fears. Let us put her name. It will be good for her. She will feel good. She will feel good. She is not asking, but you feel that if you put her name and she sees her name in the paper and she will feel happy and happy about not only her name being seen, but also happy about you. You understand my point? Never. Never. This is unethical. Never. Genuine authors. So here here it comes. I was about to say. Mention specific contribution of the authors. Right? In biological sciences, even in physics, astrophysics, astronomy, you will find in good journals there are 200 authors, 300 authors for a same work. Right? But there it is categorically mentioned that this part of the work was done by A, B, C. These three authors. This part was done by this, in this laboratory. You have to declare it very honestly and accurately and correctly. Right? So if you three of you are working, I give you the idea as a teacher, guide. So you have to write that. I have not done anything else. I said, why don't you do this? This is a good idea, research. You took it from me and you designed the experiments and you did part of the experiments, but you did not do the interpretation of the data. So authors will be three. You will mention that this fellow, A, his contribution is in the conceptualization of the research idea. Author B, he designed the experiments and carried out part of the result, part of the experiments, right? And author C, he or she did the interpretation part. Three parts equally important. You have to give equal weightage. The journal will give equal weightage. And this is how ethics plays a very important role. It is not the first author is most important. Right? Who is contributing what and how much in the whole published report, research, that is more important. And for that, the authors have to be very genuinely, accurately, honestly mentioned. That is the ethics. So in the process, what has happened? In the process, what has happened? You don't only get a sense of satisfaction that we have done it very ethically, but also in the process, we have also strengthened science because it is very honest report. It is excellent because it is based on truth, right? And ethics. Am I right? Right. Okay. How long? Sorry? 5 o'clock, 45 minutes. But I don't want to bore you with so many things. I will quickly go later on. But let me tell you some of my personal experience. See if that is there somewhere. Okay, come later on. Okay. Research is not only doing experiments, writing papers and publishing. When a paper is submitted to the journal, this is for the teachers. The journals will send the journal editor where I have submitted my manuscript. Often they send me every week I get, please review this paper. Please review this paper. Well, because you are working in this line, we have seen your papers, research papers. Please review whether it is good or not, whether it is the research results are fine or not, whether it is publishable in our journal or not. This is called review, peer review. Peer means kind of friends, same kind of research interest. So I submitted a paper. I know that I'm a very seasoned researcher, very experienced researcher. I know that if this paper is submitted to this journal, there is a likelihood that these people may get it to review. My assumption. And some of these are my friends. I pick up my phone. I say, I have submitted the paper. The manuscript might be sent to you for review. Please see. Absolutely unethical. Right? Even if somebody says that my paper has gone to you. Yeah, it has come to me. I will be absolutely unbiased. I will not remember the face of my friend while assessing. Unbiased. Right? So ethics is not for the beginners. Ethics is till I die as a researcher. I stop doing research. It has to be there in my blood, in my nerves. Right? Avoid conflict of interest. Conflict of interest is something very important. I will give very simple examples. Again, my wife, she's not a scientist. Supposing she's a scientist. She sent a paper, and the paper, fortunately or unfortunately, has been sent by the journal editor to me to review. Right? You know my situation. My wife का paper है. You understand my point? But my ethics will say, declare that she is my wife. And if I assess her thing, the conflict of interest will be there. My interest will be in my wife rather than in her work. And my interest in my wife will be in conflict with her work. So it will be very biased. Right? Similarly, it happens to your research students' paper might come to you. You should say, no. I cannot do a review of this paper because she's my direct student. She's working almost like in my same group. You have to declare that. Conflict of interest is very important. I will give some other examples also. And the third is, while reviewing, a paper has come to you for reviewing, you will get the names also. Author names are there. You cannot pick up the phone and say, hey, I got your paper. You understand what I mean? You cannot say, oh, I saw your paper. It has come to me for review. Right? You cannot say that. You have to mention confidentiality and fairness. These are small things, but very important things. And let me tell you, the world is not this ethical. More than half the time, people violate this. And that is why the research quality has come to so low a standard. And that is the reason UGC has said that, not only UGC, in many other countries, say that ethics should be a part of the training of the research scholars. That is the reason. Otherwise, the standard of research is going down and down and down. Because I am reviewing my wife's paper, my friend's paper, my student's paper, and we are looking at the quality of the paper. That will bring down the quality of the research, and that will bring down the quality of human knowledge and human progression. That is the ultimate thing. Right. Collegiality in scientific interactions, including communications and sharing resources. Collegiality. We have a doctoral committee, students' research committee here for PhD students. Each PhD student has not only the supervisor, co-supervisor, but also two other members. So this is called Students' Research Committee. Then we have a Departmental Research Council. We have the University Research Council, where we discuss about everything that is going on in the name of research in this university. So this discussion through the committee is called collegiality. It's not alone. It is not chukke. You understand my point? It is not something that you do secretly or secretively, right? And you have to communicate your work completely, not half, right? Fully, timely, and accurately to the research community. You have to make a presentation in the research conferences, then you publish it in the papers and it for publication. Generally, the idea is like this. We don't send a publication straight to the journals. What we generally do, you do some result, you get some early results, and early results you communicate for presentation in a conference. And in a conference, when your peer group will come, they will crucify you. They will say, why did you do this? How did you do this? They will ask you 10 questions. And then you will know that, oh, I have made a mistake here, I have made a mistake there. You come back, correct all those things, address those questions, and it becomes refined, right? And then you shoot it for journal. That is the procedure actually. First, presentation in a conference. Then it may be a small conference, but collegiality. People will come to know. Right? And it will be reported. Nobody can steal it. You have presented it. And after that, it will go to the publication. Share the work with the community. That is very important. First report gets the credit of the discovery. I am working here on the same problem. And I do not know how many other groups are working in how many other places in the world on the same problem. But if I publish first, I get the full credit. Even for that, people miss Nobel Prize because somebody has already published it. All right? So you have to be very fast and smart, honest, not only honest, but fast and smart. I will get back to this accurately. Accuracy is very important. Here I wanted to tell you my personal story. I was, I told you, she told you also, I did my PhD abroad. I did in a university which is among the top 10 in the world. In fact, top 5 in the world. Oxford, Cambridge, Imperial, like that. They swing. Every year you see the global ranking, the positions ranking swing. When I went there and do my things, I was struggling to get results, right, as expected, according to my hypothesis, in an experiment. It's a major experiment. I was doing it. First time I did it, I did not get results. Nothing came out. Then I analyzed what went wrong. Then next time when I designed after some days, little differently, the same experiment, I did not get results. And it was time taking. And it was also consuming a lot of variable reagents, laboratory, expensive. Then one last time I said to myself, this is the last time I will do it and I will not do it. This experiment I will drop my research. And I did it differently. I did a lot, that is research, what went wrong in the previous experiments. And when I did it this third time, difficult experiment actually, it takes about 2-3 months. Then I got it. And I was so happy. I was almost running to my supervisor. And I told him that I got it. He said, "Oh, you got it. You're British. You got it. Great." And he said, "Man, how did you get it this time?" I showed. These are the difference previous times. My previous experience, I did it like this. There was a mistake there. I corrected it next time. But I made another mistake. But this time I corrected all and that's why I'm getting it. Good. He said, "Oh, yeah, very good." Then what he said, He said, "But do it again." He said, "Do it again." He said, "Man, I spent 3 months, almost a year now, struggling, and I'm getting the result, and you are asking me to do it again." He said, "Do it again." I said, "What is this? I thought this is torture." Right. And I said, "Do it again." He said, "Yes, do it again." I said, "Why?" He said, "Make sure. Earlier 2 times, you did not get it by mistake. But this time, if you are getting it by fluke, by chance, then that is not the reality. That is not the true picture of the whole thing that you are going to report. Make sure." You understand? You understand the beauty and meaning and the significance of this guidance. This is guidance. Right? I will never forget that evening. Right? He said, "Do it again." I said, "Man, I was really getting angry. I'll have to do it again." He said, "Yes, you have to do it." I said, "Why?" I got the results. 3 months. He said, "You have to make sure. Accurately." The third point, that is ethics. You understand, my dear friends? So you get it from me. I experienced it. I have gone through these ethical dilemmas in my research life. Great. Transparency in the conflicts of interest. Research outcome leading to personal advantage. See, it happens like this. You may not understand. You know that I'm writing or I'm proposing a research project for funding to a funding agency, maybe government funding agency. I know that if I write in this way, they will give me money. This is first. So I have an interest. I have an interest in not in the finding of the result of the research, but I have an interest in getting the money. Very critical. Next, I got it. Right, I got it. The funding agency also is very happy that, oh, here is a project proposal. This is within our trust area. It's a good, seems to be a good project. So let us give you money. I got the money. Then, while doing the project, I realized that if I get the result in such a way so that it will satisfy the funding agency and it will be inspired to give me my next funding also. You understand my point? Because, say, the government gives the money and government has its own ideas. So, if the government says that we will do this and this results, we will do it and all that, our scientists can do it, you are not getting it in spite of doing the best way. But then if you tweak it, that you're getting it the way the expectations of the funding agency is, you got a financial interest. Again, next time. Right? So you publish in a different way. Then, secondly, there's a conflict of interest. You write a report, social science report, research. If you write it like this, it will satisfy certain religious groups and you will get some social advantage of it. Very bad, very unethical. Political, same thing. Right? You write a project as if you have done something and the result is such that it will satisfy this political party. And they will be happy and they will give you some award anyway. So if you do with this kind of agenda or objective in mind, then you are having this kind of conflict. So you should be very transparent there. Then social, again social, same thing. So disclosure of conflicts of interest is an essential component of integrity research. So you have to declare that I have no interest, social, political, financial, religious, in doing this. You have to be very honest in your admission. This is again very, very important for medical research. Protecting human subjects in conduct of research. Human volunteers are used for drug testing, clinical trials. Right? Nurses are also involved. Right? While doing that, you have to look at the quality and importance of the research, right, involving human volunteers. If it is not at all required and it is at the risk of the health and life of the volunteers, better avoid it. Right? That judgment has to come from you. Difficult. Risk, and you have to balance the risks and the benefits. Fairness in selection of subjects. Volunteers, drug testing. I will tell a story again here. I will tell a beautiful story here. Voluntary participation. You cannot force. In the clinical trials, say it's a new drug, it's very good for cancer. And I'm a cancer patient. And the medical firm comes to me. Yeah, we want to have you as a volunteer. This is a new drug. Then definitely I will be very happy to get it a try. But then before that, as a researcher, involved with the discovery of that drug, I should be very careful. It might kill me, he knows better than anybody else. It might do more damage than the cancer is doing to me. That person was a ethical decision on the part of the researcher. Right, before approaching me. And even after he comes, take my consent. Not trick the way. Right? Informed consent. And fairness in selection of subjects. This is very important. A few years back, what has happened, This is a real story, probably some of you know. It was discovered in the United States of America that some patients, especially female patients, having certain kind of cancers, right? They were given some drugs. And they were not working. They died. Not in one hospital, many hospitals. But the same case, same kind of disease syndrome with other patients, male patients, it worked. But female patients with the same medicine, same disease, same symptoms, same physiology, died. And what has happened? Then it was discovered that when the clinical trial of that medicine for that disease was going place, the volunteers on which the clinical trial was done excluded females. Excluded females. Female से काम नहीं होगा. Please let us take male volunteers. Right? It is difficult to get consent from them. Right? It is difficult to follow them, track them. So many factors might have come. And as a result, what has happened, the human biology is totally different from, the male biology is different from the female biology. Right? Look at the consequence of this unethical decision. Unfairness in selection of subjects. Right? And they have learned the hard way after sacrificing several female lives. This is an example. I don't remember male, female, which one did go, which one did not go. But this is a case. Right? Then animal. We use animals in experiments. Right? But we have to be very, very careful and full of empathy, not sympathy, empathy about the pain that the experiment might cause in the process of doing research, especially mammals, any kind of animals, mice. Should be very minimized. Even if you have to use minimal. Now, bioethics committee, etc., these are there to look after. But then still, it is ultimately it's individual researcher that matters. Mutual responsibility, scientific and interpersonal interactions, the collegiality. You have to be very open. This departmental research committee, they are like, it's a marketplace quarrel sometimes. They wait for the next meeting to happen, so I will give him full good time. Right? His student, my colleague, his student, I will see him there. This kind of thing happen. But it should not be like this. It should be through mutual respect, fairness in assignment of responsibilities and effort. Right? What you give to do, whom you give what to do, should be very fair and unbiased. Open and frequent communication. You have to talk. I did yesterday. Can you remove this last bar? See, I have a group. I have a group of PhD students. There are one or two boys. One is very rough and tough, and I don't like him, but I have to take him. He is my PhD student. And there is another girl who is very sweet and smiling. I'm very fond of her. Right? Because she is so nice to me. Now I have to design experiments. I know this is a very tough experiment. I give it to the boy, and an easy experiment I give it to the girl. You understand my point? Unethical. Fairness in assignment of responsibility. I have come across this kind of situations in my life. I know some boys who are my PhD scholars. But I could never do that. For you, for me, my research scholars, all five fingers are equal. All five fingers are equal. You have to treat it like this. If you do not do it, you are violating ethics. Right. Accountability. We have to be accountable. Why we report? Because you are accountable. Right. Mutual respect, trust, understanding, empathy. Provide leadership support, responsibility. You have to give leadership. We have to give leadership. We cannot, you cannot. Sometimes I have seen PhD supervisors run away from scholars because they have no answer, because they have not studied. They have not put their heads together. Right? And they go away. So you have to provide leadership, guidance. You cannot strip them. You cannot blame them that you are not putting in good effort. You are not sincere. You cannot do those kind of nonsense. You have to see that this is the way you have to do it, and you have to see and monitor and guide that whether the students is doing that way or not. And that's it. If you cannot give that leadership direction and find fault with the student and blame him or her, many PhD students' life become horrible, terrible. I know, because of this. Supervisors make their life terrible, only because of this. Encourage respect for everyone involved in research enterprise. Everybody should be respected. Support systems should be provided. Right? Institutional conflicts of interest, institution responsible investigator. So these are all there at the institution level also. If there is any allegation of misconduct or somebody is copying, somebody is stealing my data, you have come to know, you have to report it. And immediately those things have to be addressed by the institution. The institutional mechanism for maintaining those ethical practices and standards have to be. Here a second, today I have 60 slices, if I remember now. Research. Use of this. Okay. Quickly I tell you, this is something very, very crucial. It will take 5 minutes. Now, these are very important things to know. These are absolutely, I was talking about ethical things, conducts, good conducts, now misconducts. What constitute misconducts in writing research papers? One is fabrication, 2 is falsification, 3rd is plagiarism. Now, what is fabrication? Fabrication, falsification, plagiarism could be at any level. I can borrow an idea from somebody else in proposing, performing, while reviewing of reports of research results, my own results. Now, fabrication is what? You have not done anything. I told you 3 sets of experiments have to be done, same experiment, to make the data statistically acceptable value. You have done only one, and the rest you fabricate. You manufacture data. You cook up data. That is fabrication. Right? Data or results. And recording or reporting them. Of course, recording and reporting. Falsification. You manipulate data. You got one data set and you manipulate this and that. Oh, this should be 65. I'm getting 55. Let us make it 65. You understand my point? Right? You are supposed to make it absolutely fit into the scheme, into the whole data set. Somewhere you are getting 65, but you are expecting 55. If you falsify it to 65 to 55, then this is misconduct. While writing thesis, what happens? This happens to you, all of you. When you do your project, remember my difference, when you do your project, PhD project, BSc project, you'll be using equipment. So what happens is this, you use the equipment without bothering to know what kind of model of that equipment is, which brand that company that has made that equipment, right? And by the time you do your result, get your data using that equipment, and by the time you start writing the research, there is a requirement. Which equipment did you use? Which model? You forgot. And you falsify. Yeah, remember, let us put it like this. Right? Somebody else, some company. This is the process. Similarly, process. You cannot falsify. I have used so and so's process. You have not used anybody's process. You have done something, and you say that this is this and this process. 2014. You put it just like that. Changing or omitting data or research. You cannot cut research data which you feel that it is not good.
such that research is not accurate in while doing this kind of falsification, fabrication. What you do is fabrication is you manufacture. Falsification is you make it little bit here and there, tweak. You understand the difference? Right? Either way, what you are doing is you are reporting your research finding inaccurately, incorrectly. That is bad. That is not acceptable. That is not ethical. Plagiarism. Plagiarism is a big word. Sometimes you can do plagiarism as stealing somebody's idea, stealing somebody's data, stealing somebody's language, the way I'm writing, right? Everything, words, without giving appropriate credit. If you give credit, then I have got it from this data from so and so. That's fine. If I borrow the idea, somebody else's idea, and don't acknowledge it, no software can detect it that I copied it, I have stolen it. This is plagiarism. Plagiarism doesn't necessarily mean that word for word you have copied from somebody else's thesis, somebody else's book, chapter, somebody else's research publication. It is not that. That is the last one, words. Then comes the results. Copying. Some process. Somebody has done it already, reported it, and you now write it. That this is my process. I developed this, my method. Right? The rest of the things can be detected. But the number one, ideas if you steal, very difficult. Right? It's all based on you. How many likes are? Research misconduct does not include honest error. If you are doing honestly, some error has happened. Right? In any one of these misconducts, fabrication, falsification. If it's honest error, forget about it. Everybody will understand. So I will stop here. Why is scientific misconduct unethical? I've shown you falsification, fabrication, plagiarism, misconduct. Right? What is misconduct? I have already explained in detail. Now, why is it unethical? This kind of conduct. Research misconduct undermines trust because people, if detected, will not trust you. Creates inefficiencies. Deters honest researchers from career in science. A couple of years back, this is happening every day now. Even in publications in very prestigious journals like Nature. Nature is number one, It is being retracted. Because people later on find that this is copied, this is plagiarized, this is scientific misconduct. Once it is proved, it is retracted. That is a shame. Not only on the authors, but also on the institution. You understand my point? Now, this is increasingly happening. This misconduct is increasingly happening because of the pressure of the government, pressure of the institution. Because if you do not publish 2 papers, your increment is stopped. Your promotion is stopped. So by hook or by crook, you want to get your work published. Right? So that is the dark side of getting pressurized research. Research is, to my mind, this is my personal opinion. I've engaged in research from day one, 45, 46 years now. Research is a highly creative, imaginative work. It doesn't work on pressure. But it is, if the pressure is from your within, if the pressure is from your passion, if the pressure is from the pressure to do experiments, pressure to do research is from out of your passion to do research, to get the answers to your research questions, yeah, absolutely fine. But if the pressure is there, if you do not do, you do not get this. If you do not publish, you are gone. Then it is bad. Then it will lead to disconnections. I will not name some of the private universities in the country who get NAT A++, who get very high grades, right? And you see the other side, if you probe a little bit, they have the highest number of retractions of papers. Highest number of retractions. You should not join those clubs. We should be honest, we should be hardworking, we should be passionately hardworking about our research. You should enjoy doing research. You understand my point? And therefore, you have to be ethical. Right? It is like, getting published through scientific misconduct is making a huge wealth by stealing government money or somebody else's money. You become wealthy, rich, but you know heart of heart that this is stolen money, this is not hard-earned money. Am I right? Are you getting the real happiness out of it? Right? A kind of sense of sin, a sense of guilt will always haunt you till you die. Should not happen, should not be allowed to happen. You should try your best, honestly, passionately, sincerely, to the maximum hard work. You will get the return. Don't go for this misconduct, whatever the pressure may be. So it once, if you know that, I was telling you, National Center for Biological Science, NCTS, that is in Bangalore, one of the most prestigious. One faculty member, she was guiding research, and the paper was found to be copied. At least one substantial part. In Nature, it was retracted. It was a huge insult for the institution. And when an inquiry was done, that lady, supervisor, she said, "No, I have no idea, because it was his experiment, my PhD student, and he copied it without my knowledge." Cannot be. I should have said that I'm very sorry. I apologize for this lapse, because she was my student, and I should have been monitoring, cautioning my student about these kind of things. You cannot say that I haven't done it, I didn't know about it. You cannot do that. It doesn't absolve you of any kind of misconduct. Right? And if this kind of things happen, somebody is publishing, doing fabrication, falsification, plagiarism, and going up, honest worker will feel, why should I do research? Right? That is the last thing. It has honest researchers from Canada. Let us say redundant publication and salami slicing, the same thing. If you do one work, you can publish it in one paper, but you don't publish it in one paper. You split the data into two, right? Sandwich, old, new, published, unpublished, and you put it. You understand? It is not plagiarism, it is nothing. The same work that you have done, it should have been published in one go as one paper, but you say, no. This journal this time, let me submit up to this. Next, I will publish the other part. This is called salami. Salami, you enjoy salami, right? It's a good thing. Sandwich, salami. So it is like this. So it is called salami slicing. You should not do that. It is not a good conduct. Right? It is not a good conduct. Out of one publication, you make two publications or three publications. This is dishonest. I will not take you into this. I think I will stop it. There were standards. Certain organizations are there, like COPE, Committee on Publication Ethics. They train, they educate, they motivate the journalists. They keep an eye which journal is good. There is another organization called. See, when you go to, this is very important. Keep this slides. When you go for choosing a journal to send your manuscripts, you have to see certain things very carefully in the website, whether it is genuine journal or false, right? Whether I will tell you these are important things. Name of the journal, it must be unique, right? Must not confuse authors with other journals. Some similar journals are there, similar names, a very good journal, and some fake journals have come. Using the same name, sounding the same thing. You should be very careful. Right? And they charge money. These are predatory journals. You publish, but on payment. And they will say that you will publish in 5 days, 2 days, within 48 hours. Avoid those. Those journals are bad journals. Some journals ask for money. Right? I also paid several times. But that is for printing costs and all. And especially online journals, you want to make other forms, then you have to pay. must state whether contents are peer reviewed or not peer reviewed. Everything should be mentioned in the journal, whether it is peer reviewed publication you send will be subjected to peer review or not, or they just blindly publish. If they blindly publish, this is bad, not a good job. So you have to find out the ownership and management. Clear statement should be there about the governing body, who are in the editorial boards, who is the editor, constitution of the governing body of the journal, publishing house should be clearly stated. These things you have to check. Editorial team, copyright licensing, right? Policy of copyright, author fee, everything you should see. Ethics policy. These are all there in the website of the journals. So you should be very careful before sending your manuscripts. There is another one called COPE. Yeah, I told you about COPE ethics. There is another one called Directory of Open Access Journals. Right? The mission of the DOAG is to curate, maintain. Certain false journals are there, false data are there. They curate, they correct. And then there is another one. WAME, World Association of Medical Editors. It's a global non-profit voluntary association of editors of peer-reviewed medical journals. They keep in watch. These are all quality control organizations. Fosters cooperation and communication among editors to improve editorial standards, promote professionalism in medical editing, etc. WAME, it's nice. Okay. So ultimately, I have done everything. These are all repetitions or basic things I have already covered. If you have any questions, I am very happy to. And thank you for your patience. It is 5 o'clock. We started at 3:34, 3:40, I think, 3:40, 3:40. More than 1 hour.
Sir, if we are using the equipment or instrument for collecting the data, then we have to go for the interdata reliability. Interdata reliability. Interdata reliability.
Yes, you have to record everything that you do. You know, when I was engaged in, I haven't gone to the lab for the last 50 years. You know, whenever engaged in research, always maintain your small notebooks, not just mobile phone and all these things. Your notebook. And you record every observation. I think the buses will leave now. Students, you can go. Are you happy? Did you learn something? Right? Okay. About student projects, I will come back to you again. And I will talk to you only. Right? Student projects, I think the formal talk is over. About students' research, you have to be very research focused. You know that you are going to be, you are focused about your professional efficiency, but at the same time, you have to have the training to be a good researcher, because it is a good researcher that will make you a good professional. You cannot become a good professional without being a good researcher. Good researcher means you have very sharp eyes about what, about why, about how. You'll be dealing with patients. Right? You'll be dealing with patients. And when you talk about dealing with patients, means patient's life. Right? So you have to be very sharp. You must have your individual ability to observe for what, why, and how. And you have to assess the doctor. Provide data to the doctor that this is wrong. I think something is wrong here. Right? Doctors do not stay with the patients all the time. The nurses stay. Am I right? So you are the eyes and ears of the doctors. Right? You are the eyes and ears of the doctors. And these eyes and ears on which the doctors and the patient's life depends, can be trained only through what we call as research. And research is nothing but to train you what to see, right? And how to analyze and understand why it is happening the way it is happening. Right? That requires training. And that is why you may not need a PhD. Research does not mean PhD. PhD is just an outcome, right? But training part to be a researcher is very important. Everybody, anybody, everybody can become, at any age, can become a researcher. A child is the best researcher. A child in the lap of the mother, as soon as the baby sees the flame, put her finger. Get burnt, next time never. Knowledge. You understand my point? This is knowledge. So that is what it is. But the experiment is important. Putting that finger there. Then next time we will. That goes to the man. That is the enrichment. So that is for that reason you have to be also research focused. Not only the focus about your syllabus, your training, hands-on training is must. Right? And that hands-on thing is also part of research. Research is doing, science is doing. Science is not theorizing. Anyway, thank you very, very much. Any question? Online, if you have any questions. I'm here.
Online participants, if you have any questions, please put it in the chat box.
ठीक है पलाने?
Sir, one question is there. Excuse me, sir.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Sandeep Polipara requesting the admin to mute the participants. Sir, how ethical it is? Acha, acha. How ethical your question is? How ethical it is on the part of the journals to ask for hefty amounts to access or view the some of the research articles. This is unethical. It is not how ethical, it is unethical. Right? Knowledge is for free distribution and access by any genuine research worker, any part of the world. You cannot put a price on it. Right? And if you want to make money out of somebody else's work, somebody else's research, then it's very unethical. But yes, if you want some fees to make up the cost of making it available, honestly, it's not for profit. It's not for profit. Then that's fine. But if it is for profit, then it is absolutely unacceptable. Okay, Sandeep?
Thank you so much, sir. So once William R. Inge, he said, the aim of education is the knowledge and not of fact, but of values. So thank you so much, sir, for enriching us with such valuable information regarding manuscript writing, its ethics and publications. I hope all our delegates, online and offline, you were able to inculcate a lot of new things. Now I would like to request Ms. Sapna Kumari, lecturer, Royal School of Nursing, to kindly give the vote of thanks.
Good afternoon to one and all present here. Here we come to an end of the session. On the behalf of organizing committee, I, Ms. Sapna Kumari, Assistant Professor, take this great privilege to extend the vote of thanks for the 3 days National FDP program. I am extending my heartfelt gratitude to Professor Dr. S.P. Singh, Vice Chancellor, Royal Global University, for graciously allowing us to conduct the 3-day FDP program. Sir, your support and cooperation were instrumental in making this event a great success. I also extend my heartfelt gratitude to Professor Dr. Suresh K. Sharma, Professor and Principal, College of Nursing, AIIMS Jodhpur, for enlightening the presentation. His expertise and insight have undoubtedly enriched on our understanding. Thank you, sir. I would like to acknowledge my gratitude to Dr. Hemanta Saikia, Assistant Professor, Assam Agriculture University, Jorhat, for his wonderful presentation. We are grateful for his time and dedication in sharing his expertise. Thank you, sir. I would like to express my thanks to Professor Dr. Alok Kumar Borgahar, Academic Chairperson, the Assam Royal Global University, for gracing this 3-day FDP program, which is a source of inspiration for us. Thank you, sir. I would like to express my sincere thanks to Principal Madam Professor Dr. Kaveri Saikia, Royal School of Nursing, for her unstinted support and encouragement to make this FDP a successful one. I also would like to convey my gratitude to our convener, Professor Dr. Himashri Bhuya, and coordinator, Dr. Poonam Dev Verma, Associate Professor, Royal School of Nursing, the driving force behind this enriching FDP. We are very grateful to all the delegates for their presence and active participation. My heartfelt thanks to the organizing committee and all those who have contributed towards behind the scene work for their constant support and guidelines. Last but not the least, I would like to thank all the faculty members and students for their constant support and help. Thank you, sir, and thank you, everyone. For all the participants, the e-certificate will be provided on their registered email ID. Thank you, everyone.
After giving feedback.
All the participants were requested to kindly submit their feedback and the e-certificate will be provided respectively. Thank you.
Thank you so much. So we have come to the end of our day 3 National FDP on emerging trends in nursing research. I hope everyone here, online and offline, are greatly benefited and will be able to inculcate all the learnings in our future endeavors. So with this, thanking you all for making this program a grand success. Thank you all. Have a great day.
Thank you. Yeah.